As a mobile gaming channel, one of the hardest things that I had to do was figure out how to record my iPhone without a computer. A couple years ago, I didn't have access to a computer that was powerful enough to record my phone, and it didn't even have Mac, so it's not like I could have done it natively anyway. So I had to figure out solutions, and I had to do some weird things in order to get my phone to screen record. Now, when it comes to screen recording, before iOS 11, Apple didn't allow any screen recorders on the App Store at all. There was no official way of recording your phone or iPad or iPod with any Apple software whatsoever, except if you had a computer. So things like jailbreaking and third-party apps from, shady websites were really the only way you could screen record. Now, that was before iOS 9. When iOS 9 was introduced, they introduced this thing called Replay Kit. Now, I thought it was going to be a native screen recorder, and I was really hyped. Unfortunately, you could only really do that in certain games in which the developers put in that Replay Kit code. Gameloft actually did this with a number of games. You can actually see this currently in iOS 11 with Asphalt 8. You can actually just click this screen record button in Asphalt 8 if you have an iOS device, and it'll record using Replay Kit. Now, when it came out, of course, I was very disappointed because you could only screen record in certain games. However, there was an underlying issue. The bit rate of that recording was super low. Now, if you don't know what bit rate is, basically it's the number of pixels that are being transferred to your screen, given in a certain amount of time. So the higher the bit rate, the higher the quality. Now, I know there's something called resolution, just how many pixels that you can put on your screen, but that's a different issue. The screen recorder would record at a good resolution, but it wouldn't record at a good bit rate. So basically, the higher the bit rate, the better quality. However, the iOS recorder or the Replay Kit, the bit rate was so low that it looked like you were just kind of recording through a camcorder, trying to aim at your phone, trying to get it, to fill up the screen. Basically, it was just very low quality, and I wasn't impressed. And because I was jailbroken at the time, I had options that I could use, like display recorder, that worked fine, and so that's what I did. Unfortunately, I couldn't record game audio using it, but that's what I had to do in order to record my screen. So when iOS 10 came around, I was expecting some major changes. Unfortunately, the only change that we got was that with Replay Kit, you could now live stream. Now, this was very useful if I wanted to live stream. However, because I was jailbroken at the time, like I said, I could just use other third-party apps and stuff like that. Of course, I had to make compromises, but I was still able to record, but it wasn't using the built-in screen recorder. Now, when iOS 11 came around, this was when things started to get very interesting. When Apple announced it at WWDC 2017, people were freaking out because in an image that they released that basically had a bunch of features listed on the picture, one of the things, and I think there was a corner or something like that where someone saw this, or it was somewhere where it wasn't highlighted. Basically, it said screen recording, and everyone freaked out. Native screen recording in iOS. That was going to be great, right? Well, not particularly. When people downloaded the iOS 11 beta, it was clear that there was a lot of work that Apple had to do. There were bugs like, for example, clips being straight up cut off, clips being cropped at weird angles, audio not coming through, videos glitching out, things like that. And I figured it was a beta, Apple should fix this. And they fixed most of the bugs by the time iOS 11 was released. Now, at the time, I was still on my iPhone 6s on iOS 9, so I didn't really have to deal with all these issues on iOS 11. I just kind of stuck to my old ways with display recorder, and it was fine. Of course, it wasn't the best experience, but whatever. I was looking forward to hopefully Apple fixing all these issues so I could actually upgrade to iOS 11, but you'll hear in a sec that they didn't really fix any issues at all. What happened was when iOS 11 got released publicly, and most of the major bugs were released, I was looking on YouTube, trying to scour the internet, seeing people who were recording gameplay using iOS 11. Now, at the time, many big mobile gaming YouTubers like iChase and Beanates, they all switched to third-party applications or hardware like the Elgato and using a computer to record, so I couldn't find a lot of footage that was recorded using the built-in iOS 11 screen recorder. So I was too scared to make the switch, which was why I didn't have iOS 11 until I actually just got a new phone. So what really was the issue with the screen recorder, and why don't I use it today? I know it is extremely easy to use. All you have to do is swipe up on your control center and start recording. It's super easy, right? Well, the issue is bitrate. Apple didn't fix that issue. They didn't fix it at all. It was even worse in my opinion. Now, in iOS 11, there's actually a jailbreak tweak that allowed you to change the bitrate of Replay Kit. Now, I thought this was very interesting, and I hope that this tweak gets updated to iOS 11. Unfortunately, it hasn't been updated to support iOS 11 as I'm recording this video, but when I'm messing around with this tweak, I'm realizing that Apple has the ability to up the bitrate of their screen recorder, because clearly my phone can handle it because I'm doing it right now through a jailbroken tweak. So what is happening? And that's the whole reason why I don't use this iOS 11 screen recorder. Now, in a couple weeks, I'm going to be going on a trip, and I will be forced to use this iOS 11 screen recorder. And so I'll definitely apologize for the lack of quality that will eventually happen. But Apple, if you're watching, I don't know, maybe a software engineer or someone like that, or even a jailbreak developer, a tweak developer, if you guys are watching this, and you know how to develop tweaks, I would love the ability to change the bitrate in my iOS 11 screen recorder, because at the moment, in my opinion, it is absolutely atrocious. It looks like I'm watching a video in like 360p when I have an iPhone 8 Plus that can clearly support the ability to record at higher bit rates. So I don't know, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.